Hi, Leah Marie here, and I'm here with Wellness Virtually, and we're a show that focuses on everything for your well-being. And we use different aspects to share ways to approach wellness, everything from the practical to the not so practical, so mind, body, spirit healing, and really focusing on how you can promote wellness in your life. So welcome to Wellness Virtually. And today my guest will be Linda Hogan, who is a very good friend of mine. I've known her for many years. She is an author and also a healer. So welcoming Linda Hogan on the set of the virtual world of Wellness Virtually. Linda, tell me, I know we met, what was it, probably 15 years ago or so, something like that.
Probably, at least, yeah.
Yeah, it was about, yeah, I know.
Ago.
Yeah, so it was, I had started the Sweet Retreat and you came and we did some things together, and I just love your work. I love everything you do. So I'm so honored to have you here on the show and being part of Wellness Virtually and sharing energetic healing, the type of work that you've been doing for many years. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. All right. Well, I do so many different modalities that I've kind of combined. I combine them all and I do my own thing now, and I call it dimensional healing. It involves energy work. It involves the theta healing that I studied and I taught, and it's really accessing information from the collective conscious, from the universe, using my intuition as well. It's a form of energy healing. So.
Yeah, I really loved when you were at my place and you had those rods. And you were
the dowsing rods.
Yeah, the dowsing rods.
Those are fun.
And you were identifying different portals of energy that were coming from Mother Earth. And you know, I wanted to let you know, look at my earrings. I have the turtle on.
Oh, look at that, Mother Earth.
Yes.
Perfect.
I wore them in honor of you because
thank you.
I really feel like everything you're about is the wisdom of Mother Earth, and you're just like that. That energy that is embodied in the human spirit, and I connect with that. You and I have that connection so much so that's why we loved working together. But you were here doing the dowsing rods and you identified some portals of energy. Tell us about that and how you
Well, I can tell you about that day. That was really exciting because we went out beside your house in that field, and using the I use the dowsing rods to find ley lines. But when I started to do that, what it showed us, remember I had you trailing behind me with this piece of string?
Yes.
It showed a labyrinth right there. I mean, the ley lines, and I believe that probably was a labyrinth at one time or something. We know there were a lot of Native Americans down there, so that just may have been a particular place. It was almost like a serpent. It wasn't like any labyrinth that I had seen before, but it was a definite serpent-like pattern that wove in and out. And I think perhaps they did sacred ceremony there. Maybe, you know, that was a particular area where they danced a particular pattern over and over again. But we saw it. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. And let me tell you a little bit, since you know, that experience, what I have found, you know, you brought so much wisdom about just my land that is surrounded by 100-acre land preserve, and then, you know, I have 17 acres and it's near the ocean. I love where I am. But what I found out is in my town, there's actually like a, I forget what it's called, the Freemasons have a building, and they have George Washington's, a lock of his hair apparently is in that building in a frame. because
Oh,
I think he, from rumor has it that he was part of that group back in the day.
oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, when I purchased my property back in 1996, there were lawyers that I purchased it from, and they had done some research all the way back to the early stages of when it became recorded as a deed. And apparently George Washington owned this property at one
Oh
time.
my goodness.
Yes,
Wow.
that's what they had told me. So
That's amazing.
when we talk about that and we talk about the energy, I also read a book that involves Saint Germain
Mm-hmm.
and the violet flame, and
Yeah.
how he worked with George Washington, apparently.
Amazing.
Something was in that book about that. And I felt, wow, there was some really powerful things going on here. And then you saying about that ceremonial type atmosphere that must have occurred here that made that energy pattern.
Yeah,
It's
isn't
just
that?
kind of
So it could have been, I
fascinating.
mean, who knows? Freemasons, we don't know what they were doing, but maybe it wasn't Native Americans, or maybe it was something way before that. Who knows?
Right.
But anyway, it's there in your land, and just that you were also drawn to the spirit and nature pathway out there in the back of your property behind in the
Yeah.
field there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool too.
It was that was such an amazing experience. The 5 years I was doing all that work and working with spirit and nature and all the folks that would show up, I just had so much fun, that maybe, just maybe, after my kids are, finally done with college and out of here, I
Right.
might just open all that up again.
That would be good. That would be great. Yeah.
Let's get through this pandemic and move forward, though, and
Yeah. Yeah.
be there. So
We will.
tell me more about, like, what's the importance of that? What's the relevance of finding, a portal of energy like that?
Well, it's particular. I mean, I know people really can't go out and wander around right now as much as we did. But the earth feeds us energy. We have this symbiotic relationship with the earth. She'll transmute negative energy that we have and turn it into positive energy. When you go out and you sit on the earth in a particular place over and over again, what happens, and I think I may have showed you with the dowsing rods, is over a period of time, those ley lines that I spoke about, the Earth's energy lines, they move closer and closer and closer together. So, and you can tell that with the dowsing rods. And so then you have this a power spot. It's almost like a portal, but it's a power spot. It's consolidated energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a perfect place to meditate, to connect to spirit, to do manifestations, to work on your, ask for anything for your health. It intensifies, the work that you're doing, and it just helps. Like if you went there, if you had this power spot and and you had a particular physical issue going on, if you went there and you connected to the earth and you asked Mother Earth to help your body heal, that's exactly what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Your body would heal much faster. And
Because you're connecting to that energy. And does that connection to Mother Earth, does it help, like, in the long term? Do you still have that, or do you need to have that portal, like, right there? Or can you keep that energy, like, could you tap into that energy now because you visited that spot?
You probably could, but I think once you've made the commitment and that deep connection to the earth, and you've made that connection, then it doesn't matter where you go.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit, you can connect to the earth, and you'll feel it, and you just have that connection. You'll feel that connection. It's been a little hard lately. I do go out every day still, and You know, I mean, I'm so blessed that, like you, I mean, I can go to the ocean. All of the parks and the reservations have been closed, but still I can go down to the ocean and walk there, breathe, do a meditation, and it's so invigorating. It's so peaceful. I feel, you know, through this whole thing, I've felt calm and peaceful. I haven't felt fear. It just keeps me even and steady. And, you know, so anybody can do that. And it's, even though we can't, I mean, you can make that connection just outside your back door, sitting on your door stoop. You know, you don't have to go into the middle of a beautiful woods. You just have to have the intent and imagine that you're sending energy down into the earth and you're bringing it up into your body, and then you don't close your eyes. Just look around, look at nature, look at the tree, the closest tree, and just watch the branches. And it's not so much that we want to connect to Mother Earth, but Mother Earth is willing to connect to us.
I love that.
So wherever we sit, like those energy portals, if you're drawn to someplace, you just want to, if you're walking and you feel drawn someplace, just go in and sit there for a few minutes, and that's the earth connecting to you. You know, physically, mentally, spiritually, it's going to help you in, you know, so many ways. So
yeah, and I think that, you know, I keep going back to when you and I did that retreat together, and remember, it was a full moon retreat, and we went out into the energy portal you identified at night, and look, it was a full moon retreat, and we stood there and we like howled at the moon. It was a women's retreat, remember?
Yeah, that was fun. That was great. Oh God, I think we all need to be howling about now, don't we?
Yes.
That would help a lot if we could go out and howl.
Right. Just like we were so joyful and just howling and dancing around and expressing our goddess energy. And then we in the morning did the sun salutation, remember?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It just was like bringing it all together, you know, that all of the elements, the 5 elements were there, you know. Just the dew was on the grass, so that was water. There was the sun, you know, the air and the earth. It just was all there for us, and it was such a beautiful experience. So when I work with people, especially the elderly that are in facilities, I find that helping them recall experiences like what, you know, like we are expressing, hopefully somebody will know about that and remind us when we're older to connect, right? That can just bring up so many positive connections with the earth energy that's available, like you said, Mother Earth.
Oh yeah. And as I said, you know, the earth is willing to connect with us as well, so it's not a huge big deal. It's not a hard thing to do. All you need to do is go out there, close your eyes, set your intent that you're connecting to the earth, and it happens, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have your book, Walk Gently
on
the Earth. I've read it, and I love this particular, I marked a page, and it's so appropriate for what we're talking about. Thank you, Mother, for always being there. And, you know, honestly, I just opened that page before we came on. It kind of fell open, and I said, I'm going to go with it, because I know I'm talking to the human embodiment of Mother Earth here. So
yes, see this little round, I'm just a little round Earth right there.
Oh, you're just so beautiful. Would you mind if I read this?
Oh no, read it. Sure. Okay. I don't even remember what it is particularly.
Yes.
Read it.
Thank you, Mother, for always being there. Chaos all around me, tired and weary. I run to you and curl up. The reassuring comfort of your familiar scent fills my nostrils as I bury my face into your breast. You hold me while I cry, while I spit angry words, while I finally release the pent-up frustration of being a child of yours in this fast-paced, confusing world. My brothers and sisters, as always, come to see what is wrong. A little wren sits above me calling, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" Then the squirrels come and scold me for wallowing in self-pity on such a beautiful day. They chase each other up and down the tree above, tossing acorns at me until I laugh and once again agree to join the human race. Don't stay away so long, I hear you call as I start off once again down the path. I won't, I'll be back soon. You said, I won't, mother, I'll be back soon. Think about that. We were just
so
talking about,
appropriate.
I know, right?
For right now, isn't it? Oh my, yeah.
Yes, it is. It is.
Mm.
So that's very powerful and a big part of who you are and your healing work that you do.
Right.
What are some, I know there's some certain modalities that you actually focus on and teach and you certify. Can you share with us about that?
Well, I'm board certified in alternative psychology. And so that really fits in very well with the theta healing that I studied and I taught for so long. I'm not teaching it any longer. I have clients, I do phone sessions, which works very well. But with the theta healing, the practitioner accesses the collective consciousness and or God, Great Spirit, whatever you want to call
however
this,
you prefer it.
power, the universe. Okay, you're able to connect to that energy, and you can ask that certain, like a healing, take place in your client, or which another thing you can do is you ask that negative subconscious beliefs that they have be changed to the opposite positive one. And the way my client and I determine what that is I do it with muscle testing, and I even teach them how to muscle test themselves over the phone. Or if they're not willing to do that, some aren't comfortable doing that, I muscle test for them, and we can determine what they actually believe in their subconscious mind, which can be completely different from what is in your conscious mind. Maybe something happened, you were offended, someone had an assault on your person or your emotions, and you thought that you forgave them a long time ago, but with the muscle testing, we determined that no, you actually didn't forgive them. So with the theta healing, the practitioner is able to access their subconscious mind and ask that the forgiveness happen, and then it does, and then we muscle test again. That's just an example of people who have chronic diseases or serious illnesses. I'm a strong believer that every disease has an emotional component to it. So with the muscle testing, we're able to determine get right to the root of the cause of the illness. And once we identify that, we go back, and I'm able to change that negative belief, that subconscious belief, into a positive belief, and it comes into their conscious mind, and your body does what it's told. I mean, our subconscious mind controls our body. So if we believe that we are healthy, that we do not have this disease, your body does the best that it can to make that true. So it goes into a very super healing mode,
Yeah, I find that so true. I mean, that's a lot of
Yeah.
what my work is about.
Yeah.
Um, Retraining and rewiring. I think there's been so much advancement in understanding the brain and how it does affect us. But it is kind of common sense, because when you think about things, you have reactions in your body that
Yeah.
inspire your body to react in certain ways, and your body's extremely intelligent, and it's like its own universe. Like,
Right.
everything that you have a thought subconsciously or consciously is
Right.
played out through your body. And
Right.
I love, like, what you're talking about, the muscle testing. I've studied that, and actually you certified me years ago in theta healing, although I didn't do a lot of it. I did work with muscle testing, and I think it's so interesting how your body is more in tune, because of it's truly your subconscious at work, but it's
Right.
more in tune than what you like. We think we know it all, right? We think we are aware of everything that's going on within. It's like there's a lot
Right.
of hidden layers.
I know. And words, the things that we say, the things that come out of our mouths that we don't even hear.
Yeah.
But it's wonderful. I mean, that's why it's nice to work with someone else, or when I work with my clients and they're telling me, their life story or what's going on, I hear it. They don't hear any negativity there, but I do. And even, just talking on the phone and talking something through with your friends, they'll hear it, but you won't hear the negative things that you're saying. You won't realize that you're repeating a theme over and over again. So it's nice when all of your friends are energy healers, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you think
Yeah.
about we vibrate. Everything vibrates. We're
Yeah.
sending out these vibrations with our voices, and it comes from our being. It's how we're heard. But it goes out, and the vibration is affecting everything that's around you, and then it's like a wave. It just sends out. So
Yeah.
I think you're so right. That was part of my training when I studied the program under the Chopra Center.
Yeah.
With Deepak Chopra and stuff. Conscious communication is a big part of that curriculum, so that you can emotionally detox. But how are you interacting with other people? Because if you're using certain language, it really can affect your relationships in a detrimental way, or it can, it can build the energy. So I know myself, when I've been around people that are, they have a toxicity, but I tend to start to change and shift and morph in a way that's not great. So I have to cleanse and ground and get healing.
Yeah.
I mean, we encounter each other, and hopefully these types of teachings and healing and energy work will help everybody shift collectively eventually.
Well, I think the more of us that learn about energy, I mean, if you start with Reiki and then you may go on to other things, at least you have an understanding of how energy works and how what we say, what we do, what we think affects not only us, but everyone and everything around us, And I think once there's that basic understanding, it's easier for you to catch yourself when you're starting. I mean, I can get into a negative mood, not very often, but I can. I mean, I will, it's kind of like I've fallen down this hole, and it's like, how the heck did I get here? The other day, I just said to myself, oh my, you're so crabby. I mean, there's no one around here to crab to. I'm here by myself. I've been here by myself for a month now, but it's like, oh my God, you're so crabby. What are you so crabby about? And so I had to work on that to get uncrabby. And the way that I did that was I went out and on my back deck. I mean, I live in the city, but I do have a tree. And I just sat there and I looked at the tree and I listened to the birds and I took some deep breaths, and it's like, okay, that I just needed a a little shot of Mother Nature to get me out of that. We'd had a few kind of really cold, snowy, snowy, rainy days, and I hadn't been getting out, and I think that's what made me crabby.
Well,
Plus,
I mean,
might have heard a news show or something, and that'll
right.
do it.
I know. I mean, I think humanity itself, as we're talking energetically, it's been
Yeah.
such a stressful shift and instantaneous. It was kind of overnight. And
It was, yeah.
especially for Americans, I think it's been extremely challenging for us because we're stubborn and we don't
Very
comply
stubborn.
well.
No, and we're not really, in the scheme of things, we're not used to suffering. We're not used to giving up anything. You know what I mean?
I
Really,
know.
we are so lucky. We are so blessed here compared to other countries.
Yes.
I think this is not a totally bad thing. I mean, we're learning to sacrifice. You know, we're
Yes.
learning, hopefully we're learning that, you know, you need to put other people first,
Right.
as well as yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you know, it's maybe it's not so hard for us physically here as in
Right.
other countries, but emotionally we're getting slapped with something that we're just not used to. And you know, other countries, other parts of the world, people that live in other parts of the world, that's their life. It's hardship and giving up and not having what you want all the time. We're getting a little taste of that.
I agree. And I think that I don't know if you've ever heard of the book 21 Stages of Meditation, and it was written by a doctor, not an MD, or it might be an MD. I don't have the book right. Dr. Khalsa Singh? I'm not sure. But this book, 21 Stages of Meditation, it talks about all the levels that you go through, and including frustration, anger. It's almost like the process of grief, you know,
Right.
where you have all of these stages that, and all of these emotions that can crop up, but it's almost like going on a silent retreat where you're not able to speak, you know. So I mean, of course, I'm not saying we embrace this experience as, you know, wonderful, because people are dying and sick and there's a lot of pain and suffering. However, if you're safe and you're healthy and you have, you know, security of shelter and food and water, and then do embrace this moment to get to know the inner you and explore the opportunity to engage with the universe, you know, like from a different standpoint. So like you're saying, you know, you went and you sat next to a tree. People that have been confined, like in New York City, they were, you know, confined. I don't know if they've been allowed to really get out and about too much now, but, you know, those folks don't really encounter nature all that much anyway, but I'm sure that they're probably craving, you know, being outside and experiencing air and, you know, that they do experience. So I think it's a great learning experience for us, in that we need to embrace this moment for whatever the lessons are going to come to us from.
Right. And hopefully, you know, when this is over, that we'll be more compassionate, you know, more giving. And I have found, I mean, not that I use a lot, you know me, I'm pretty, it's my Scotch heritage, I'm very thrifty. But it's amazing how little you need. You know, it's like I have everything I need. There isn't anything I need to shop for, really. You know, and I think we'll learn how to live with. Hopefully, that we'll learn how to live with less in a manner that also will help the earth. You know, if we're not consuming as much, then definitely we're going to be helping the earth. And oh my goodness, you know, my gas tank, I watched it, you know, well, it's not going down, not going down, not going down. Oh my goodness, I got over a month worth of gas.
Yeah,
You know, I was
I was
driving.
thinking of that.
It's like on a tank of gas.
Right.
And I filled it up at a quarter full, but I mean, it's like, wow.
So what is Mother Earth saying to us now, Linda, for honoring this moment? I mean, I hear the signs are happening all over the planet. What do you feel that, energetically from your inner wisdom, speaking with the connections that you've made with Mother Earth?
Yeah. She's healing. She's still full of love. She's like our all-encompassing mother. And no matter how bad we were, she still loved us. But now the feeling is a feeling of delight and hope. Hope for our future. The Earth's always going to be there. I mean, we've been doing our best to destroy it, but the amazing things, the oceans clearing. I mean, you can hear so many birds. I've seen, there was a little fox in our neighborhood. So the little animals are starting to come back too. So she's delighted. But also the message was, there's still a lot more that needs to be done, and there's a feeling of concern that when this is over, we revert back to what we think was normal, but it wasn't what we need to have. So I also have, the feeling is there that this will prolong until enough people have truly gotten the picture and experienced it and learned the lesson that, we're all here to live together, live on the planet together, men, beast, nature. So the quicker we get those lessons and raise our vibration, I think we have to, one of the main things is to let go of the fear. You know that too. We need to let go of the fear so that we have more love. We can feel the love in our hearts, and we can see the good that's being done out there.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't protect yourself, don't wear masks. I'm saying, wear your mask, protect other people, and believe that they're going to protect you by wearing masks too. But
let go of the fear that this is the way life is forever.
Yeah, right. And
I think
positively of how it's going to be better.
Yes.
It can be better for us.
I think you hit on a couple key points that I'd like to kind of also speak to with there's a real spiritual aspect, obviously, to this whole experience. And I'm not sure that the human consciousness has been focused on any part of their spirituality in a very long time,
right?
Collectively. I think that if you look at across the globe, there's probably some countries or communities and cultures that are more spiritually focused. I worked with a lot of people from Africa when I was working for a home care company, and met so many people that came over, and their existence was very simple and difficult. Right. In a lot of ways. They had so many challenges, and that we would never even be able to fathom here in the United States. So when you look at that kind of lifestyle, and that these people, everything that they did was based on spirituality. Like the reason why they went into the line of work that they did to service others, caregiving, it was because their spiritual selves were motivating them to make a difference, to help, to do something from their heart, and I think that a lot of people may be moved in that direction now, because you see so many folks that are starting to try to figure out, how can I help? How can I do things to make a difference?
Right.
And it's not about, okay, well, let me post like a great picture on Instagram or Facebook and get a lot of likes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
I
Which
mean,
is nice. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
that's
true.
all nice. You love
Yeah.
to have you love to have that sense of people really opening up to reality again
Right.
and servicing,
Yeah.
and not just looking for that kind
Yeah.
of almost narcissistic.
Right. And I've noticed that doing good is becoming contagious,
Yes.
you know? So you do one little good thing, and then that person goes on and says, wow, well, I can do this, I can do that.
Yeah.
So it's very, I think it's, I mean, we can see it. Good is coming out of this. And our, as the Dalai Lama says, there's always good in every, when something is bad, there's always good in it. If you
Yes.
look, you'll see that good comes from the bad. So I'm going to believe that that's what's happening now, and it's going to continue. And we can have I'm looking forward to a wonderful future. Sometimes
Yes.
it's hard, but I don't know. What are we going to do when we all get out of here?
I saw the
I'm going to come.
cutest
I keep saying, I'm going to go visit this one. I'm going to go visit that one. I'm
Yes.
going to do this. I'm going to do that. But that's a good thing.
I saw this adorable video where there were like 4 babies. I think it was 4 babies, and they were walking. They were toddlers,
Yeah.
and they were in their diapers, and they were just walking around hugging each other. Like they just kept switching
Yeah.
and hugging. And it's like, this is what it's going to be like when we can finally get out and actually touch one another.
I
It's like,
know.
I mean,
I
we're
know.
not going to, we're going to be safe about it, obviously, and we're going to be respectful. But I'm a hugger, and
I
hug
know.
trees. I always hug trees. That's something
Yeah.
I really like.
Trees are okay to hug still.
Yes, so much.
I'm a hugger too, so it's it's going to be different, but I think we're still going to hug.
Yeah.
We just turn our faces this.
Right. Yes, right. Or maybe that new fashion statement that we have with the mask will really take hold. I mean, I hear that a lot of people are trying to make it fashionable, so I think it's
Oh,
good to have
that's
fun
good.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
That is a good thing.
what about access bars healing? I know that you had done.
Yeah, I haven't done that. I haven't done it in a while because I'm not really seeing clients right now, so, and it's a hands-on, you're working on their head. It's also working on the belief system, the subconscious mind, and all the body systems. There's a series of different access points. That's why it's access bars, that you put your fingers on. It's almost like acupressure points, and you have intention. There's a little positive statement that you say, but you connect, kind of like connecting the dots. You connect these points with your fingers and run the energy through it, and it does, like theta healing, it shifts the beliefs that you have in your mind.
Mhm.
I have to say that I have never experienced relaxation, total, completely relaxation, like when I've had a bar session done on me. There's something about it. It just totally, I think it wipes out past negative feelings and experiences and beliefs as well, so that you're just, just completely floating and at peace. Wow, I could use a session.
I know. I'm
right
here.
now.
I've never even did it here, and it was so amazing. And it's like, instead of acupuncture, like sending in a needle to the spots,
Yeah.
or just pressing. And yes, I was so relaxed. I think I fell asleep on the table, and
Most people do.
there were like 20 people in the room or something, and I didn't mind.
I know. Yeah. That's interesting. No, and the other thing is when you do, like you were reminding me of that group that we did, that we had quite a few people, and that was really fun. Excuse me. But when you're working on one person and then there are other people in the room, they're getting the same experience. It's like you're working on someone's points on their head, but at the same time, it's working on everyone else's.
Well, we're all
At the
connected,
same time.
right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
all connected.
yeah.
So the more work we do, like you said initially, the more work that we do on everybody collectively,
right.
It affects. But if you're right there and you're in the moment and with the intention to help heal that person, I guess.
Right.
Bringing that energy right in directly to yourself as well. That's beautiful.
And I know I've found like that group, or doing the theta healing when I was teaching theta healing, you get people sign up for these classes that all have similar issues. Have you noticed that?
Yes. Yes.
Somehow they're drawn energetically, once again, to what they need.
Right.
You know, whether it's with a different teacher or a different class with the same teacher.
Yeah.
But usually when you start to work, when the students start to work together, it's like, wow, I have the same issues you do. And everybody's, wow, I do too. You know, another time it could be totally different issues that we're working on, but for some reason, in some way, they're all drawn to that particular class.
Right.
Has something to do with quantum physics, I'm sure.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So what are some things that you're offering now to people for healing? And, you know, I know we're limited these types of hands-on effects, but what are some things that people could be in touch with you? What's your website? All of that good stuff.
Okay, my website is sacrednewearth.com. I do healing sessions over the phone. I'm also, I have a prayer, I guess you'd call it a prayer list or an energy healing list for, and every night before I go to bed, I send intent for healings for the people on my list, sending them unconditional love and healing energy. That's free. There is a charge for their hour and a half sessions for the other work that I do. But
Excellent.
so I'm not doing anything in person at the moment, but maybe when this is over, I'll come back to your place and we can have some fun, do something.
Right, the sweet retreat. And you and I, before we get on here, we said maybe we could do a virtual women's retreat, wild woman retreat, right?
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun when we did it, you know, in person. But I think we could really put a fun curriculum together and maybe make it a weekend event where people could be online. And
they come in their pajamas.
Yes, like we can do past the wisdom stick or something.
Oh, the talking stick, yeah.
Stick.
Oh yeah, we could do that online, couldn't we? That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Teachings, different coursework that we could do throughout.
I'm kind of losing your voice.
Oh,
there you go.
Is that better? I think I got yeah, I think it would be wonderful if we put that together. We called it the Wild Woman's Weekend. And Wild Woman was related to the whole nature theme, not like we're girls gone wild or anything.
No, but we may be, if we're confined much longer, we may be wild women gone wilder.
Whatever that is. But yeah, we're going to think about that. So we'll be posting that probably on both websites.
Sure. Yep.
Healthcoach.com and yours as well.
Fun.
And
yeah.
So I look forward to that, and maybe we'll do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Can I just say one quick thing though?
Absolutely.
I think right now the best thing that all of us can do to help the planet and to help the situation with the virus is to keep our vibration as high as possible, and as consistently as possible. So if you, and that just means feeling really good, happy, and joy in your heart, and letting the fear go. And if you find that solace in, if music makes you happy, or, you know, watch happier, silly things on TV, get out in nature when you can. I mean, even just the deep breathing, and have a little, I mean, I have a very short 10-minute Qigong practice that I do every morning. That makes me feel good. It gets the energy running and it makes me feel good. Make little, I mean, I put teddy bears in my windows. The people around the block are putting little vignettes in their windows.
Oh.
It may, somebody walking by, it lightens their spirit, but it made me feel really good doing it too. It was kind of fun. So find things that make you happy. Find things that bring you joy. Anything you can do to keep that, your vibration as high as possible, because that's gonna lift, you know, that's gonna lift this virus and keep people healthy as well.
I always say fake it till you make it too. Like,
Right.
you know, even if you're like had those moments where I'm like, I cannot feel happy, you know, and I will do all different things, like the types of things you're mentioning.
Right. Yeah.
You know, even just taking a
Yeah.
bath, really treating myself well, write myself a love letter, you know, whatever it takes, I make that happen. I see your cat walking around, giving love to another living being. You know, my dog's barking right now, so he's looking for attention and love.
I know.
I think that's really, really good advice, Linda, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking about all the beautiful work that you do. And we haven't been connected, you know, too much in recent years, so I'm so excited. And my mailman is here, so that's the dog.
That's pretty exciting. I think I'd be peeking out the window or something myself.
Yes, that's Sparky, my German Shepherd, and that's his highlight of the day is the mailman going by. So let me just, he'll be done as soon as that mailman goes 2 houses down. So
that's good.
Yeah, so I think that what wisdom you brought today is so needed, and, you know, especially that piece about the vibration, keeping it up, and finding those ways, mechanisms, whatever brings you that sense of peace and joy, like connect with those emotions, and whatever you need to do to get there, do it. You know, that's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, I'm not saying to do things that are unsafe for yourself, and, you know, just because you're craving human companionship, like, you doesn't mean you go and out in a group of strangers and, you know, with intention to get yourself into a situation where you could get sick. But I'm saying that you want to focus on these types of activities are great. You know, I've been having hangouts with friends on Saturday morning, a group of women to get on, you know, whatever ways you need to connect with people, that people are out there feeling the same way. So we just have to, it's an opportunity, even though we're apart, to come together in a different way and really honor each other and get to know each other again, you know?
Yeah, fun. And I can't wait to see you in person again.
I know. Well, thank you so much, Linda Hogan.
Thank you.
And your website one more time.
Oh, sacrednewearth.com.
Yes, and that goes along with your book. Can you get that on the website?
Yes, you can. My book's there, and it's also available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Lulu, all those places. So.
Oh, nice, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm blessed to have you here, Linda, and I wish you a wonderful time for the rest of your day, and we'll connect soon.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you. Namaste.
All right. Namaste. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye. I hope you enjoyed the show of Wellness Virtually and Linda Hogan's interview. She is so knowledgeable, and I'm so grateful to have met her on my journey here. And she has brought me, so much wisdom about how to tap into Earth's energy. And, when we were doing the retreats many years ago, and all of the workshops and just having lots of fun in nature, this is something that I wrote, and I want to share it with you. So here it is. Here it goes. When in nature, hear the beauty of the birds and feel the sunshine on your skin. Recognizing and appreciating this aspect of nature is living in abundance. So it's always available to you. Living in abundance is not about just financial or materialistic items. It is truly available to you at all times. If you tune in to what's outside, what's going on outside, if you're not in a city like New York City or something like that, if you're more, if you're located more in, like an area where there's trees and stuff, you can always hear birds. You can almost always hear birds unless there's something that is scaring the birds away. You can most always hear nature. And that is such a gift. It's so soothing to be able to experience that. And so I just wanted to remind you of that, and also to think about that when you're in a space where you feel alone, because that alone, knowing that you are not alone, there are other living creatures around you, and they may not, there might be a single bird chirping out inside your window, and that bird isn't hand in hand with somebody, right? They're on their journey, and they might have a family they're going to visit later or something like that, but they're very independent. And I know we all need to nurture ourselves and connect with one another. And so I just remind you during those moments where you're feeling that loneliness and sadness, to connect to the gifts that Earth brings us, Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Okay. With that being said, I hope you all the best wellness and abundance and total satisfaction with all that you do. Thank you.